As the celestial guards knew that his name was on the register of immortal officials, they did not dare to block his path, but led him through the gate. He descended by cloud and was back on the mountain of flowers and fruit in an instant. Seeing the 4 stalwart generals and all the kings of the monsters drilling their troops there, he shouted in a shrill voice, "Children, I'm back!" The monkeys all bowed to him, took him into the heart of the cave, and asked him to sit on his throne while they prepared a banquet to welcome him back. "Congratulations, your Majesty," they all said. "After a dozen years up there, you must be coming back in glory and triumph." "What do you mean over a dozen years?" asked the Monkey King. "I've only been away a fortnight or so." "Your Majesty can't have noticed the time passing in heaven. A day in heaven lasts as long as a year on earth. May we ask what office you held?" "Oh, it hurts me to tell you," replied the Monkey King with a wave of his hand. "I feel thoroughly humiliated. That Jade Emperor doesn't know how to use a good man, a man like me, protector of the horses. That meant I had to feed his animals for him and wasn't even given an official grading. I didn't know this at first, so I fooled around in the imperial stables until today, when I found out from my colleagues how low the job actually was. I was so angry that I pushed the table over and quit the job. That's why I've come back." "Quite right, too," the other monkeys said. "Your Majesty can be king in our cave paradise and enjoy as much honor and pleasure as you like, so why go and be his groom?" Then they gave orders for wine to be brought at once to cheer their king up. As they were drinking, someone came in to report, "Your Majesty, there are 2 single-horned devil kings outside who want to see you." "Ask them in," said the Monkey King. And the 2 formally dressed devil kings hurried into the cave and prostrated themselves. "Why have you come to see me?" asked the handsome Monkey King. And they replied, "We have long heard that your Majesty is looking for men of talent, but we were unable to see you before. Now that your Majesty has been given heavenly office and come back in triumph, we would like to offer you this yellow robe as a token of our congratulations. We also hope that you'll not reject us, although we are low and worthless, but will accept our humble services." An exalted Monkey King put on the yellow robe, and his happy subjects bowed to him in order of precedence. The 2 devil kings were appointed commanders of the van, and when they thanked the Monkey King for this, they asked, "What office did your Majesty hold while you were all that time in heaven?" "The Jade Emperor has no respect for talent," replied the Monkey King. "He made me something called Protector of the Horses." "Your Majesty has such miraculous powers. You should never have been feeding his horses for him. You should have been made a great sage equaling heaven, shouldn't you?" The Monkey King was beside himself with delight at this suggestion, and he kept saying how splendid it was. "Get me a banner made at once, with the words 'Great Sage equaling Heaven' in big letters on it, and put up a pole to hang it from," he ordered his 4 stalwart generals. "From now on I am to be called 'Great Sage equaling Heaven,' not your Majesty or King. Pass this order on to all the other kings of the monsters." We will leave him at this point. When the Jade Emperor held his morning court the next day, the heavenly teacher Zhang led the deputy and assistant superintendents of the imperial stables to the vermilion steps, bowed low, and reported, "Your Majesty, Sun Wukong, the new protector of the horses, left heaven yesterday because he thought his office was too humble." Just as he was speaking, the heavenly guardian Viradaka came from the southern gate of heaven with his heavenly soldiers and reported, "The protector of the horses has gone through the gate. We do not know why." On hearing this, the Jade Emperor commanded, "Let the 2 divine officials return to their posts. We shall send heavenly soldiers to recapture this devil." The pagoda-bearing heavenly king Li Jing and Prince Nezha stepped forward from the ranks of those attending the audience, and they memorialized, "Your Imperial Majesty, we beg you to command us, your incompetent servants, to subdue this fiend." The Emperor was delighted with the suggestion, and he appointed the pagoda-bearing Heavenly King as demon-quelling High Marshal, and Prince Nezha as Great God of the Seas. He told them to take their forces down to the lower world at once. Heavenly King Li and Nezha, Kotode, took their leave, went straight back to their own palace, and assembled their troops, commanders, and officers. They put the mighty Miracle God in charge of the vanguard, and General Fishbelly in command of the rear, while General Yaksa was made adjutant. Within an instant they were outside the southern gate of heaven, where they went straight to the mountain of flowers and fruit. They chose a piece of level and open ground on which to construct a fortified camp, and ordered the mighty Miracle God to issue the challenge to battle. On receiving this order, the mighty Miracle God tied on his armor firmly and went to the water-curtained cave, holding his flower-spreading battle-axe. When he got there, he saw huge numbers of devils, wolves, tigers, and leopards, wielding spears, brandishing swords, leaping around, fighting each other, and making a great noise outside the little entrance to the cave. "Accursed beasts!" shouted the mighty Miracle God. "Tell the protector of the horses at once that I am a heavenly general come on the orders of the Jade Emperor to subdue him. If you make him come out and surrender immediately, it'll save the lot of you from being wiped out." The devils went rushing into the cave and reported, "Disaster! Disaster!" "What disaster?" the Monkey King asked. "There's a heavenly general outside who says he's come on the orders of the Jade Emperor to subdue you. If you go out and surrender immediately, he said he'll spare our lives." "Fetch me my armor," said the Monkey King. He then donned his golden helmet, tied on his golden armor, put on his cloud-walking shoes, and his as-you-will gold-banded cudgel in his hand. He led his troops out of the cave and drew them up in battle array. The mighty Miracle God gazed wide-eyed at the excellent Monkey King. On his body was gleaming golden armor, on his head a dazzling golden helmet, in his hand a gold-banded club, on his feet a pair of cloud-walking shoes to match. His devil eyes shone like stars, his ears were long and hard, his sturdy frame could be transformed at will, his voice rang clearly as a bell. The sharp-mouthed horse protector with protruding teeth wanted to become a sage, equaling heaven. The mighty Miracle God shouted in a harsh voice, "Insolent ape, don't you recognize me?" The great sage Wukong replied at once, "I've never met you before. How should I know which wretched little deity you are? Tell me your name at once." "I'll get you, you conceited baboon! So you don't know who I am? I am the Heavenly General, Mighty Miracle, the commander of the vanguard for Heavenly King Li, the pagoda bearer. I have come here on the orders of the Jade Emperor to accept your surrender. Take off your armor at once and submit to the mercy of heaven, or I'll wipe out every animal on this mountain. And if you so much as hint at refusal, I'll smash you to powder." "Stop talking so big, you lousy god," retorted the furious Monkey King, "and give that long tongue of yours a rest. I'd just love to kill you with this cudgel of mine, but if I did, there'd be no one to deliver my message for me, so I'll spare your life. Hurry back to heaven and tell that Jade Emperor that he doesn't know how to use a good man. Why did he make me waste my infinite powers on feeding his horses for him? Take a look at what's written on my standard. If he's willing to give me this title officially, I'll call off my troops, and let heaven and earth continue in peace. But if he refuses, I'm coming up to the Hall of Miraculous Mist to knock him off his dragon throne." When the mighty Miracle God heard this, He looked hard and saw a tall pole had been planted outside the entrance to the cave, on which hung a banner reading, "Great Sage equaling Heaven." "He, he mocked. "You ignorant ape! What shameless effrontery to want to be Great Sage equaling Heaven! Take that!" He swung with his battle axe at the Monkey King, who, quite unflustered, parried with his gold-banded cudgel. It was a fine battle. The cudgel was called As You Will. The axe was named Flower Spreader. As soon as the two met, you could not tell which was better. Axe and club locked together. One was concealing his magic powers. One was a big-mouthed boaster. They used their magic to breathe out cloud and mist. When they opened their hands, they scattered sand and dust. The heavenly general was the master of magic. Endless were the changes the Monkey King could make. When the cudgel was raised, it was like a dragon playing in the water. As the axe came down, it was a phoenix among the flowers. Although the fame of Miracle was known throughout the world, his skill was no match for his enemy. If the great sage lightly twirled his club, a mere touch would paralyze. The mighty Miracle God was no match for his opponent. He hastened to block the Monkey King's first blow with his axe, which broke into two with a crunch. He fled for his life as fast as he could, and the Monkey King said mockingly, "You bag of pus, I'll spare you this time. Hurry back with my message, and look sharp about it." The mighty Miracle God returned to his camp, went straight to the pagoda-bearing heavenly King Li Jing, knelt before him, and said with an awkward laugh, "The protector of horses has really tremendous magic powers. I was no match for him. He beat me, and now I've come to take my punishment." "This fool has ruined our morale," exploded the heavenly King Li in a fury. "Take him away, and off with his head." Prince Nezha, who was standing to one side, stepped forward, bowed, and said, "Do not be angry, Your Majesty. Forgive the mighty Miracle God, and let me go and do battle. Then we'll see who's boss." The heavenly king accepted his advice, and told mighty Miracle God to go back and look after the camp while he awaited his punishment. When he had put on his armor and helmet, Prince Nezha charged straight out of the camp to the water-curtain cave. Son Wukong, who was just going to pull back his troops, saw the ferocity of his onslaught. What a fine prince he was! His hair in tufts barely covers his scalp. His cloak not over his shoulders. How striking his intelligence! How elegant his air! Indeed, he is a sign of a unicorn in heaven. In truth, he is a phoenix immortal from the clouds. The seed of dragons is different from the common herd. This fine youth is not at all like mortals. With him he carries 6 divine weapons. Endless his transformations as he soars through the air. Now he has received an edict from the Jade Emperor's mouth, making him commander of the 3 temples of the masses. Sun Wukong went up to him and asked, "Whose little boy are you, then?" "What do you mean, charging up to my door?" "Stinking monkey fiend!" shouted Prince Nezha. "Don't you know who I am? I am Nezha, the 3rd son of the pagoda-bearing heavenly king, and I've been commanded by the Jade Emperor to come here and arrest you." "You do talk big, don't you, little prince?" said Sun Wukong, laughing at him. "But as you've still got all your milk teeth, and are still wet behind the ears, I'll spare your life and I won't hit you. Do you see what it says in my standard? Go and tell the Jade Emperor that if he gives me that title, I'll call off my armies and submit to him once more. But if he doesn't do what I want, I'll surely attack the Hall of Miraculous Mist." Nezha looked up and saw the words, "Great Sage equaling Heaven." "You wicked monkey! How dare you give yourself a title like that? Whatever your magic powers may be, don't worry. All you're getting is my sword." "Give me a few swipes, then," replied Sun Wukong. "I won't move."